Now.
Hi, everybody. It's Brad Tassell. Welcome to the show.
Good.
Hey, on the ship this week, I saw a young boy about 8 run up to another little boy
I feel like
about
I've heard
7.
this joke 3 times.
I have no idea where their parents were. And say, let's go to the candy store. The other boy said, but they're not open. And the first little boy said, let's just go look in the window and dream. I got a nostalgic pang in my heart. That's exactly how I feel in Amsterdam. Let's start the show.
In a cabin going crazy cause a flu that's worse than swine swept the planet, so damn it, here we are in quarantine.
Hello, and welcome to Virtual Comedy Show. Here are some etiquette guidelines for Virtual Comedy Show. Please arrive 15 minutes early. Please be quiet, except for laughing. We've been a Zoom meeting civilization for more than a year. Come on, you know the drill. Just be polite. We would like to see your face as part of the audience. Let's be social, not just distant. So get comfortable, plan to laugh, but not heckle, and let's make our semi-quarantined world a bit more normal for a little while. Thanks, and enjoy the Virtual Comedy Show.
Hey, everyone! It's time for the Virtual Comedy Show, starring Brad Tassell and Steve Goodie. Tonight, Brad and Steve welcome their very special guest,
Tyrone Thornhill.
live from the vaccinated homes. And now, please welcome Brad Tassell.
That's right, he's back. He's going to do his monologue from the boat, which he recorded yesterday.
On Fox News this week, anchor and poster boy for Smug Monthly, Brett Baer, is that how you say that? Baer, attacked Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg for his obvious bias against Elon Musk because they didn't invite Tesla to the conference on tailpipe emissions. Things went badly for Brett when the secretary calmly reminded him that electric vehicles don't have tailpipes, which he would have known if Bear hadn't been sucking on one. I guess it's cheaper than vaping. Okay, so was that one a joke? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go on. Hey, here's news. Republicans in California spent $250 million to lose the recall election of Governor Newsom by a large margin. A GOP spokesman said, just wait, we'll spend $300 million more to screw up a recount. Ninjas. Okay, ninjas. All right, let's move on. Tyrone, are you here?
He's here.
Still? Because these are the jokes. All right. Singer Nicki Minaj tweeted a series of unsubstantiated and frankly idiotic tweets that her cousin received the vaccine and his testicles swelled up to a massive size.
I just want to say this is a great time for Amelia to join us. Hi, Amelia, the 4-year-old. Yay, we're glad you could join us. That's as grown up as it's going to get. We're glad you're here. Carry on, Brad.
By the way, Massive Testicles was a band I was in. By the way, she has 22 million followers. So the health minister of Trinidad and Tobago, where her cousin lives, had to actually investigate this moronic claim, which was found to be totally false. His statement was to waste the country's time spreading disinformation during such a chaotic period in history by Miss Minaj took some pretty big balls. Oh, misinformation. Okay, there you go. Hey, here's something that y'all may want to go to. Melania Trump will attend the annual Log Cabin Republican Spirit of Lincoln dinner in November, which will be held at Mar-a-Lago. The group is the LGBT wing of the Republican Party, which is like saying there is a King Cobra section of the Mongoose Club. Melania will be giving the keynote address. Donnie won't be there because, as he says, they all want me. Okay.
That was
Let's
weird.
keep moving. Is the recording working?
Yeah.
The US, UK, and Australia have signed a new deal to find a way to shorten Australia to 2 letters. No, I apologize for that. No. The US, UK, and Australia have signed a new deal to share advanced military defense capabilities. You know why?
no.
You know what? You know what?
Why?
To combat China's huge buildup in nuclear and artificial intelligence and cyber attacking. Huge buildup. When asked where the money would come from to pay for the three countries to build up, a spokesman said, "We'll borrow it from China."
Oh,
All our other money.
that's funny.
Hang on. I'm going to pause
Oh,
there.
my
I'm going to pause there. I really want to say hi, Amelia and Autumn. We're really glad you're here. And I don't know. And I really was enjoying watching your feet, Autumn. If you want to put your feet back up, that's all fine. I know all these jokes are for grown-ups and it's not making a whole lot of sense, but hang in there. It's going to be fun for you too in just a little bit. Okay, let's go back to Brad's monologue already in progress.
Kind of sad, really. Hey, big news. Speaking of space, at the Kennedy Space Center, they are gearing up for the first SpaceX private group of billionaires trip to space. Wow. The craft will orbit the Earth for 3 days before the auction begins. I bid $1 billion. A lot of Captain Evil in the show. Captain Evil.
Dr. Evil.
Hey, the new fad in dog anxiety, the new pet fad. Let's start over. The new pet fad is the dog anxiety jacket. Has anybody seen this?
No.
It wraps tightly around the canine to hug them tightly during storms and fireworks. The dog's fear of the storm stops because all they can think about is the panic of having this stupid heavy coat strapped to them. Roof. 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 No, okay. I look older. I think I look older.
We're all a little older.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement, is the most sacred of Jewish holidays, right? It started last night and runs through Steve apologizing to me.
I'm sorry.
I'm waiting.
Sorry.
Did he do it?
Yes. I take it back.
Okay, pause. Comment. Kentucky has run out of freezer space to hold the bodies of people who have died of COVID. Isn't that wonderful? Trying to help, Mitch McConnell said, "Give them to me. I only sleep in one of my coffins." Rand Paul will miss his voters. Okay. Ooh, big news in finance. Philip Morris is buying an asthma inhaler company. Asthma inhaler company. Pause for everyone to think about the implications of that.
They're a cigarette company.
Yes.
The company said, Philip Morris, asthma inhalers will be free for kids after they turn in 300 Marlboro box tops.
Don't
Say
listen to
Marlboro
him.
box tops 10 times fast.
Amelia, don't listen to him.
Oh my
no
God.
trouble there, huh? All right, we're going to plow right through.
Yeah, we are.
Get it done in 7 minutes. 100-year-old Virginia Oliver is the oldest lobster trapper in Maine. She still goes out every day with her 78-year-old son, Max, to catch, band, and measure lobsters. Max tried to retire at 75, but she grounded him for 2 weeks. Now he's back. Huh. By the way, Virginia started working on the boat at age 8 with her dad, who retired last year. No, he's dead, but that's not the point. Okay. Virginia, by the way, said her doctor admonished her a few years ago after one of them snipped off part of her finger and said, "Why are you still out there?" said the doctor. Virginia replied, "Because that's where the lobsters are." Oh, it's kind of zen-like, isn't it? Okay. Not funny, but it's zen-like. Oh, in a related story, anti-vaxxers are now injecting lobster urine to stave off COVID. Oh, did you see this? There is major infighting between factions of the Taliban, with hardliners and really hardliners in the government fighting over how inclusive the country should be. One spokesman said, Who knew terrorists could be so stubborn? Another Taliban official said, they're almost as oppressive as the GOP. Almost.
Lady.
Shahira Law. Shakira. Hey, speaking of all that, this weekend, the mob of MAGA morons descends on Washington, D.C. to protest the trials of the January 6th insurrectionists and the use of reasoning and intellect in decision-making. The FBI said they are not worried about security, as this time there are no traitors in charge, the Capitol fence is up, and this president's phone actually has the National Guard's phone number. The Trumpers are expected to be about 700 people, which oddly was the same number that showed up to Donnie's inauguration. No one went. Oh, my thing just closed, and now I can't find my speech. Hold on, folks.
Don't panic. He only has one more
Steve,
minute.
you can cut this part.
I can't cut it. It's too late.
It just went away.
Now you tell
Can you
me.
believe that?
No.
My whole thing. Okay, next. We're almost done. Scientists are training cows. This is great. Scientists are training cows to pee and training them where. Okay, let's start over. Scientists are training cows where to pee in an effort to help the environment. They say it's easier than training a toddler. But the pull-ups are more cumbersome. By the way, they slowly coax the cows to go to what they call the mooloo. When they do it correctly, they get a sweet molasses treat. Scientists said the molasses tastes okay, but they prefer a latte. Creators of the experiment said the treats were supposed to be for the cows. That was fun, wasn't it? All right. You know what? I'm just going to give up because we have such a great show. It's so great. And I can't wait to see everybody live next week. Please, let's go. Steve, take over and let's see what you're going to do. Have a great show, everybody.
Yay for Brad Tassell. Yay. That was great. And real quick, I want to see if we can spotlight our friend Amelia because I want to say hi. Hi, Amelia.
Hi, Amelia.
Oh, your microphone's off, so I can't hear you, but I can see you wave. Wave your hands and your feet.
Hello again, Amelia.
Yay! All right. That's awesome. I met Amelia and her mom, Autumn, at Fump Fest in Chicago about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she was in the front row, and we had a whole conversation during the show, and it was fantastic. And now she's staying up past her bedtime to watch this nonsense. So yay for thoughtful parenting. All right. As Brad said, it is the end of Yom Kippur, which is why I'm wearing this, my shirt of many yard sales. And it's time for our big top 10 list. This is our 72nd show. 72 of these that I've come up with, and this one, oh, I think you're really going to like this one, especially Amelia. Let me read a little preview. The Caucasian region of southeastern Europe is a mountainous area, mostly in the country of Georgia. And if you live in the United States, the idea of Georgia being the source of all white people is, well, both odd and somehow appropriate. But it's really hard to believe that all of the white people on the planet came from this one little area. So our top 10 category tonight is Top 10 Sources of Global Whiteness.
Okay.
Wow. So, feel free to take notes if you want. Number 10, Joel Ostenistan. Number 9, Krakatoa. Number 8, the pumpkin spice region of France. This next one is for Brad. Number 7, Bowling Gringo, Kentucky. Brad lives there. All right. Number 6, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. These are the top 10 sources of global whiteness. Number 5, Pecker, Woodstock, New York. Okay, let's just skip over that one. Number 4, Madagascaran. Number 3, Salt Lake Whitey, which is also related to number 2, Marie Osmongolia. And the number 1 source of global whiteness, the capital of the Philippines, Vanilla. And just before we went to air tonight, I thought of another one. That really should have been on the list somewhere. So we're going to, a special bonus tonight. It's our number 0 source of global whiteness. Ready? Number 0, Ted Cruzakistan. I thought that deserved a special mention.
God.
I want to thank the great state of California for getting rid of Larry Elder.
Thank you.
That's all I want to say. And that's it for the top 10 list. Wow, that went really quick. Guess what? It's time for our musical guest. Everybody is running. There's a child running through the back of your shot there, but
There's more
let's
than
see.
one.
There you are. There you are. It's our good friend Annie Mosher.
Hey. Hi.
Hi, Annie. It's so good to have you here again.
It's so good to be laughing.
It's been
I have
so
not
long.
laughed. I think this is my first big laugh.
And
Oh,
we're
I'm
gonna
hearing it. I'm hearing an echo again, Steve. Is that
is
on
it?
your thing?
Is it come? Does it do it when I do that?
Let's see. Nope. It's done. Nope. Well,
Nope, it's back.
it's back.
If anybody who's just joined doesn't have their echo cancellation on, turn on your echo cancellation. If you just joined recently, because I wasn't
Let's
hearing it
see.
before.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, no, it's there.
Let me mute me, and then you do that again. Maybe that's what this show has needed all along. Okay.
Okay. Hi. Oh, no, it's still there.
So it's not me. Yay, not me. All right. I don't know how to handle this except to mute people randomly. So you just start, and I'll mute people as we go, and we'll see if the echo goes away. But
Mute
before you
me.
go, I'll mute you. Before we go, I just want to let everybody know we're playing the little game that we started a couple weeks ago where Annie will play one of her fabulous songs. And while I'm listening to it, I'll think of a song that I have that has something to do with it and that is appropriate for a 4-year-old. And then I will play that. And then Annie will play another song that maybe has something to do with what I just did. So that's exciting. All right. Take it away, if you would. Annie Mosher.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks. I'm going to do a song I wrote about a guy named Bill. Are there any Bills tuning in tonight? I don't see anybody who looks like Bill. I think we're safe. So we're going to sing a song about him. And you all know Bill. I assure you. I always see you here, hanging out at this bar. You're always much too drunk to know how drunk you are. So I'm gonna tell you what no one else will. Everyone hates your guts. You need to go home, Bill. Go home, Bill. Go home, Bill. You need to go home, Bill. Hey, you tell dirty jokes and you laugh much too loud. You spill and slosh your drink as you push through the crowd. And you sit up front, then you talk through the show. Everyone wants to kill you. Bill, it's time to go. Go home, Bill. Go home, Bill. You need to go home, Bill. We need some sort of messiah who will save us from this guy who will not leave. Hey! Well, now it's 3 a.m. and it has become clear he's ruining our lives 'cause he's still goddamn here. I'm gonna do the thing that no one will. I'll take one for the team and I'll go home with Bill. I'll go home with Bill. I'll go home with Bill. I'll go home. I'll go home, Bill. Go home, Bill. You need to go home, Bill.
Yay!
Yay.
That was delightful.
That was real sweet.
I am ready with a song from the point of view of Bill,
Oh.
I believe. And I wrote this with John Trennis, who's here. And I wish
Oh, I
I'd
love
tuned the
John
guitar
Trennis.
before we got started.
Hi, John.
John Trennis is equally to blame for this. Particularly the tuning. John should have tuned this guitar. All right. And if I forget the lyrics, I'm going to cheat. So here we go. I can't do my laundry. I can't change a tire. I can't boil water without setting the house on fire. I can't get me no job with a blank resume. But I've got a way wicked talent, and nobody can take it away. I drink well with others. That's my social skill. I like sippers and chuggers and hillbillies with stills. I'm the life of the party, so let's kill a few beers. I drink well with others, and all my friends are right here. I don't floss or brush.
Ew.
I got horrible breath. When I talk to my houseplants, they die a horrible death. I drive an old Pinto, cost me 300 beans, and it drinks lots of gas, and it don't go too fast. Hey, it's just like me, 'cause I drink well with others. I'm making my mark. I'm a real wild turkey when I captain the Cuddy Sark. I like running my mouth while I'm running my tab, and I'll drink well with others till they send my butt to rehab. And I think I'm gonna stop right there. That's enough of that one. Yay, okay. And now, thanks. The last verse gets really, really naughty, and I'm gonna save that for Annie. Take it away, Annie.
That was so sweet of you. Jeez. Gosh. All right. Well, I got a song about that, sorta, Steve. I was thinking about that guy who drinks well with others, and I learned a lot about him from your song, but you didn't mention his hair, but I know all about it already. I know what kind of haircut he's got. I know how he wears his hair.
You took him home, of course you do.
Right, we have a thing, and so I'm going to tell you about that guy's hair a little bit, and you tell me if I'm wrong. It's an instrumental piece, so. Some folks say he's got him a mullet. He's heard the word, but he wouldn't call it that. When the barber says, son, how do you want to cut it? It's business in the front, party in the back. Woo! Yeah, he's got him a mullet. It's a long, short, long, Sholo style. He's got an El Camino he calls the Silver Bullet, and he drives the girls wild. All the ladies say, oh, ooh, ooh. Hey, Leroy, we like the way you roll. And all the ladies say, oh, ooh. Hey, Leroy, we like the way you roll, 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 roll. We like the way that you roll. Yeah, you know, he's got him a mullet, and you could say it's right or you could say it's wrong, but it's long and it's short, and it's short and it's long, and it's long and it's short, and he calls it a schlong. Hey, Leroy, we like the way you roll. Listen, the ladies say, ooh, ooh. Hey, Leroy, we like the way you roll, 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 roll. We like the way that you roll. Yeah, it's a mullet. It's a it's a Tennessee top hat. It's a Kentucky waterfall. It's a Mississippi mud flap. It's the Great Divide. It's the Big 1090. There's 10 on the top and 90 down the bag. It's forbidden hair. Yeah, you know, he met him a girl and she turns a lot of heads when she takes off her hat. Now he looked her up and down and he said, you got a real fee mullet and I like that. Hey Leroy, we like the way that you roll. And all the ladies say, ooh. Hey Leroy, we like the way you roll. He made the achy, breaky, big mistakey. It's the achy, breaky, big mistakey. It's the achy, breaky, big mistakey. It's the achy, breaky, big mistakey. Ooh, we like the way that you roll. We like the way that you roll. We like the way that you roll.
Yeah. Good job, Annie.
Good.
It's also the hockey player helmet.
It's a what?
Hockey player helmet. Notice how many bullets are in a hockey
You're
player?
right. It's a hockey helmet.
Steve, you're muted. Uh-oh.
Hi. Yay. What I meant was, yay, Annie Mosher, and nobody could hear me say that. Hooray.
Somebody- yeah.
And I think the Canadian hockey one we'll do next week when we do it in, okay.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us, Annie. That was marvelous. You are the best. And if at the end of this thing, if Amelia is still awake, maybe we can talk you into doing the Goldfish song, because I think Amelia would love that. It's not a funny song. It's just a really sweet, awesome Grammy-winning song. Maybe next year. It should be. All right. One more time for Annie Mosher. She'll be back.
Thanks,
There
everybody.
we go. And now it's my pleasure to introduce, if I can find, there he is. It's our headline act. Oh my God, we're so lucky to have him. Please welcome Tyrone Thornhill, everybody.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. Your songs were amazing, both of you. That was so much fun. Yeah, that was, and they were so like upbeat and fun, and which makes this next part difficult because you may know that comedy suffered a loss this week.
That's true.
Yeah. Somebody whose impact on the game is undeniable, and a former SNL cast member. You guys know who I'm talking about, obviously. Jim Brewer announced that he would not perform at venues that mandated vaccines. So there are dozens of unhappy people out there who are going to be suffering because of this news, and it's a tough one.
Well done.
Thank you.
That was great.
I don't understand the anti-vax stuff. I never will. It's been crazy. I was so excited when it came time to get mine. I was probably too excited, to be honest. I remember getting the shot, and the dude, he did the shot, and after he was like, "Okay, I'm finished," and I was like, "Oh, me too." He got a little uncomfortable, so I was like, "Okay, well, when do I come back for my second one?" And he was like, "Please don't." I did get my second shot, and I'll get a booster if they let me. And if Moderna drops a pumpkin spice vaccine, I'll get that too. I'll get anything you want me to get. I absolutely promise. I just want everybody to just do the right thing, so I can get back to taking a more active role in messing up my own life up. Like, I'm tired of being a spectator. Like, I want to be involved. I'm feeling left out here. But, I'm so happy that I have comedy, though. Like, this last couple of years would have been really tough without comedy. It's my favorite thing in the world, and it keeps things interesting. Because my comic friends here probably understand. As a comedian, you just kind of have to be very aware of what's going on around you, and it's something that is a gift and a curse. So I'm reading all these news stories, and everything's crazy and terrible and weird, and then my immediate reaction is, well, time to go write some jokes. That's not a great way to think of things. So it's fun. I think laughter is very important. I hear a lot of different comparisons made. I think one of my favorite comparisons that I've heard is that a lot of comedians like to compare themselves to the band on the Titanic that was playing as the ship went down. And I think that's a beautiful thought. I think it is a beautiful thought to think that in the worst times, comedians can bring somebody some joy and try to distract them. I think that's nice. I do think that particular comparison is a bit heroic. I think it's more like if that band were playing and, they're sitting there, with violins and tears in their eyes, and, they're filling the air with this beautiful music that's drowning out the sound of a ship breaking in half and people clamoring to avoid icy waters. And then some drunk guy stumbles up to the stage and goes, "Icebergs, am I right?" Yeah, and then somebody in the audience is like, "Don't talk about the ship sinking. We don't want to hear it. Talk about dating." and then he's like, "Dating's weird, and that's just the tip of the iceberg." And I think that's closer to where we are as comics, and I'm okay with that. I like that role for us. I think that's a good thing. Sorry, I had to pick up my paper that I dropped here. But no, I do think it's a beautiful way to be. Speaking of dating, I actually did not date during the pandemic at all. Way too anxious about all that stuff. So I was like, that's not going to happen. I was single the entire time. I was actually single before, but that's a different kind of single. So we won't count that. And it wasn't like I was going to go out and try to meet people and stuff. And even if I did the apps, and what if you kind of connect with somebody and things are feeling good and it comes time to meet that person, and it's now I got to be safe and sexy, you know what I mean? And that's stuff. Now I got to be like, yeah, I can't wait to see you either. Yeah, don't forget to bring a list of everybody you've been in contact with for the last week. Don't forget to bring your vaccination card if you have one. And if you don't come. And if you do, wear that thing I like. Yeah, that thing with the straps that go over your ears. Yeah, that's the good stuff. And then like, given all that, what if everything we get past all that and then we do actually feel that connection, and we have that moment where you're looking in each other's eyes and you feel that first kiss coming on, and you gently lift her chin and stroke her cheek, and you feel her forehead, and you're like, whoa, you are way too warm. You need to go home right now. I couldn't put myself through it, so I didn't do it. And it worked out all right. Honestly, I couldn't just jump into a relationship to distract myself like I might do when I was taking a more active role in messing up my own life. So I had some time, I really got to know myself. Before, as a single man, I would be like, I'm a 37-year-old man who's, reasonably successful and, checking boxes and stuff. Like, I got to figure out what is wrong with these women. And it was, and then I took some time and I really got, self-reflective and everything. And I was like, oh, my bad. Now, I found the common denominator. Good news. Yeah, so I didn't get to do, those kind of things. And then it was okay. It wasn't that I'm the worst in a relationship. It's just things I needed to work on. Like, I would get really dismissive about something that needs to be handled. For example, if something bad happened to me, instead of dealing with it, I would throw like a weird quote at it, or some idiom or something, like, oh, well, got knocked down, but I get up again. And, it's like, I realized that you can't just chumbawamba your way through life. And it helped, you know what I mean? I got there eventually. Yeah, being single in this pandemic has not been fun. But you know what they say, good things come to those who wait, or death. Just kidding, Amelia. Everything's great. We're all going to be just fine. Now, I did start seeing a therapist during the pandemic, which was absolutely the best thing that I've ever done. It's really cool. My therapist actually specializes in racial identity, which was necessary because I realized that I can often be just as confused as everybody else is about my race. And just to help anybody out who hasn't figured it out, I'm biracial. My dad is Black. My mom is white. I look like this. And it's not always easy for people. And then my parents named me Tyrone after my dad because they thought that would help, and it hasn't. I may go so far as to say that it's made matters a little bit worse. But I like my name. I like who I am. I like being black, which is why I don't do like the 23andMe and Ancestry and stuff. Because I figured out that 50-50 is my final offer. Like if I did one of those and I found out that I was like 32% black, I'd be devastated. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I get jealous when white folks get to do them, because they get to send those in and get like really excited. And then the results come back and it's like, I am 3% West African. Okay. I always was the best dancer in Zumba class. You know what I mean? It's there's a little bit more excitement in it. But it's always been the whole racial identity thing has always been a thing for me. It started to get worse when I was 13 and my family moved from California to Florida. I remember my first day getting on the school bus to go to a new school. I was sitting down by myself and I started feeling a tugging on the back of my head. And I turned around and this little girl was like, "What are you?" I was like, okay. And it made me think, because I was like, that's a weird question to ask somebody. That's a question that's only acceptable to ask somebody on Halloween. So like, that's, it kind of feels like I'm just celebrating this perpetual Halloween, but I'm in like a really cheap homemade costume. Like people are coming up and they're like, "What are you supposed to be?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm supposed to be black, but the skin's all wrong. And the hair is all wrong. Jeez, everything's wrong." No, I do sometimes wish that my dad would have tried harder on the night that I was conceived. And maybe I wouldn't have this problem. That sounded like pity, and I really appreciate that. And I'm actually going to take that opportunity. Now that I've gotten that pity, it'll bring me through the rest of the night. It makes me feel so good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Annie. It was amazing. I had so much fun. Thank you all for having me on the show. This has been amazing.
Thank you, Tyrone. You're awesome.
Thank you, Tyrone. And guess what? Guess who's here? Guess who's joining us who wasn't here earlier? Here he is. It's our own Brad Tassell. Hi, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
How are you?
He's just checking to make sure we're actually doing a show.
Yeah, I want to make sure the show is happening. Yeah,
it's happening. It's so happening.
Oh, that shirt is happening too there, Bucko.
I've already made two jokes about it. You'll have to watch it on Facebook later.
I will.
All right, one more time for Tyrone Thornhill. That was fantastic. Thank you, sir.
I loved it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we've got more show, so let's keep on rolling. I'm gonna get rid of Bradford. Not get rid of him, but we won't be able to see him right up front. And it's time to go to our friend Annie. I'm not Annie, Patti. There's Patti right there. And I'm pretty excited because I've come up with a theme song for Patti Melt. Here we go.
It's time for a Patti Melt with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez. From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses. She's melting down. It's a Patti Vasquez, Patti Melt.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. That's how I spent my Wednesday. Take it away, Patti.
Hey. I had a plan, and then I'm getting echo. Are you hearing that too? Oh, hi. I had a plan for tonight for my melt, and then I found out about Amelia, and I'm so thrilled that Amelia's in the audience, and I'm changing the entire thing and just basing it on everything that Tyrone said. Here's the thing, is that I'm so angry with Jim Brewer, and not just because he is canceling on his shows because he doesn't believe in segregation. Okay, please, first of all, Stop it with that stuff. But secondly, I worked with him years ago and he bought me dinner and it was a lovely memory. Although I do remember when we were talking about politics, he said, "I don't really follow politics." And I said, "But you have to have an opinion about Donald Trump." And he said, "No, I don't really pay attention." Which, you know what? When someone doesn't have an opinion about Donald Trump, that's their opinion. Okay. So he is going on these rants about how I know my body, and I don't know anyone to tell me to take drugs or have a shot. And here's the thing is that well, I got COVID, and so did my wife, and so did my daughter. Okay, so you know your body, so now you have lifelong effects from a viral disease that is killing people. But sure, no, be a jerk to millions of people. That's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. And thing. By the way, Tyrone, I feel so bad for anyone that was single during the pandemic and married. So the thing about being single is that you lose a whole year of dating, and I don't envy anyone who's dating because I don't miss it. Dating is like gambling. You either get a jackpot or you get a crackpot, and nothing in between. If you are, here's the thing: if you're a crackpot, you have to pretend that you're not a crackpot when you meet a jackpot, just so that you can trick them into believing you're also a jackpot. That's how I got married, and that leads me to
Oh my.
100%. I met Steve within 3 days. I was like, "Don't tell him you love him. Don't tell him you love him. Don't tell him you love him. Don't tell him you want to have his kid." So and by the way, so I love my husband. Wonderful human being. He's a stay-at-home dad, which was, in place before the pandemic. I just didn't know I would have to be there too. So I also knew he had a high tolerance for clutter. I knew that before we got married, and I accepted it because, again, we weren't supposed to always be in the same place at the same time. But here's the thing: like, he lets things go. I don't know if this happens. Is this a gender thing? I don't understand why men let pans soak. He does all the dishes. I do all the cooking. And if I use a sticky pan, the sticky pan is what you cook like the beef or the chicken or the fish, and it gets a little bit of that crusted burnt part. He will put that in the sink and let it soak for like a week. What do men think is going to happen over the course of a week? Soaking is not an action, it's a gerund. I diagrammed the hell out of those gerunds. It's a curvy line, remember? It was a curvy line. And I asked him one time, I'm like, why do you let it soak? And he, what he said out of his face? He said, I didn't know what you wanted me to do with it. We've been married for 20 years. I was hoping you would rinse it and scrub it and put it away. It's fine. Totally fine. It's fine. Here's the thing. If you live with somebody who has a high tolerance for clutter, you have these like sort of benchmarks. Like, I just lowered my expectations. Like, when I come home and I turn on the lights and nothing scurries in the corner, that's a victory. Wow. And I don't know if we've ever talked about, I was listening to Tyrone talk about his family, and it's so strange because I know that I present. There's a whole thing I've learned about presenting and passing, and I present as white, but I'm also Mexican, which is also white, which I don't understand, because if a Mexican moves on your block and you're white, you're like, hey, one of them moved in. It's not the same thing. I'm just saying. But I built my entire career on being half Irish and half Mexican, and I was nervous about taking the 23andMe test. Because I was like, what if it ruins my entire act? Plus, I had my Aunt Pat who's like, I think we're German. I'm like, shut it. And Tyrone, I was always asked, what are you? And it's so strange to hear someone else talk about that. It is the weirdest thing to be asked, because I'm not a what, I'm a who. Right. Although I did have a hash brownie in college one time, and I thought I was a what for hours. I was in the mirror going, what am I? What am I? What am I? What? I could barely look at my side profile in the mirror, but I couldn't move fast enough. So anyway, so I did get my 23andMe results back, and I am actually 51% Irish, British Isles, and 49% Native American, Spanish, Portuguese. I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican-y. And there's no deviation from that, except that I think I've said this before. My brother came back as my uncle, and that's weird. So, and you know what? That's a meltdown for another time, because he's my half sibling. Remind me to talk to you about my half sibling. We'll do a chart for Amelia on what that means. Thank you, everybody. Great to hang out with you.
Oh man, that's Patti Vasquez, proving a theory I've been establishing for quite some time. You know, we all have our favorite places to do comedy. Some like the Improv chain. I'm very fond of Charlie Goodnight's out there in North Carolina, but I think the best place anyone could do comedy is in Patti's car. Would you agree? Because holy cow, she always nails it when she's in her car.
All right, I'll do it from here from now on.
I got 3 minutes.
We've got to come up with a drive-in theater for you. That's what we need. Yeah. All right, one more time for Patti Vasquez, everybody.
Yay!
And I'm going to cut to Brad, who's going to do some begging, and then I think he's going to do his worst joke. Is that correct?
Yeah.
You want to do it live? Okay.
Bring me up.
There you are.
Everybody. Hey, I'm Brad Tassell. welcome. I've got 2 minutes before I have to run and do a second show. But hey, if you get a chance, you saw an amazing show tonight. Go to virtualcomedyshow.com and click donate to the comedians. And we fairly split this money up every week, except last week, Ken Evans' Venmo didn't work. So forget him.
Yeah.
But anyway, just kidding. So he'll get his money. But please do that because, it's been a pandemic. We all need help. And you just saw people who have really worked on material and stuff like that. Okay. So, all right. Well, I know the show was great. Annie, I missed you and I'm so sorry. I love what I saw of Tyrone and Patti. Amazing as always. And Steve, Patti, you have a new song. Do you want that? You should get a copy of that to use on your own.
You'd be surprised how this works.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody gets a song. So we do Yup, You're Up at midnight on Sunday. And Steve's like, here's the song. So, okay, here it is. The worst joke of the week. And I go downstairs. By the way, I had a lazy eye as a kid. Anybody else? And I remember watching TV with a patch over my eye for months to fix it until I realized they'd covered the wrong eye. Now I've got one lazy eye and the other is stupid. So, no, really. So, but scientists are studying using pufferfish toxins to cure lazy eye in adults. One researcher said, nothing cures lazy eye quicker than being thrown in a tank with a bunch of pufferfish. It's on your left. By the way, the piranha experiment didn't go well at all. Here's the birthday song, everybody. Bye.
Have a very merry Thursday. It's a special time of week when Thursday bells are pealing and life no longer seems so bleak. Let's open up our presents and carve our Thursday goose and wait for Father Thursday to arrive upon his moose.
You know, we tried to incorporate all the wonderful family traditions that people associate with Thursday.
Thursday comes but once a week, but do not shed a tear, 'cause there are more than 50 Thursdays packed in every year, and every single one of them is full of mirth and glee. So stuff your face and break some wind and join the reverie. Have a very merry Thursday. Put on your orange fez and decorate the Thursday tree with Milko, Spam, and Pez. Once you've curled your mustache and donned your Thursday clothes, I'll catch you 'neath the mistletoe and punch you in the nose.